William's here. William, how are you? I'm Googling something real quick. Maybe you know the answer. I can't seem to recall. Um, the difference between a frog and a toad. All right, I'm seeing a lot has to do with legs. The reason I'm asking is because I finally. Hey, Kayla, how are you? Ash is here. Ash just say Yogi. I've been trying to get a short video clip of a frog. I've gotten several toads. I've been trying to get one of a frog in water, or sitting on a stump, or sitting on a pad, and man, they have been elusive. Oh, I was asking the difference between a frog and a toad, and it seems what I've been reading is um, mainly in the legs and skin texture. Well, and frogs are almost, from what I'm seeing, exclusively in water. Toads are mostly terrestrial, meaning they dig underground to escape predators and live on land. Unlike aquatic frogs, they usually do not swim. Of course, you have tree frogs, which are different. Anyway, the reason I'm asking, the reason I bring that up, it's not just a random uh, question, trees and frogs. Um, I've really been wanting to, I've gotten several short videos of some toads, mainly at night. Not very good quality, but hey, a toad's a toad, right? Frogs have been really elusive because they're very shy. I will hear them when I approach the water, immediately plopping in. And today, just by chance, I skimmed through the water and I saw that perfect frog sitting on a pad, staring out in space, thinking frog thoughts. You know how frogs are. Um, let's see. One says one turns into a prince, the other gives you warts. I am going to take your word for that. I'm not going to test that theory out myself. Let's see. So yeah, I was really happy. Finally, an entire summer devoted to trying to get a frog video, and today was the day. It's chance. I know where the frogs are. I'm patient. I keep showing up every day, and eventually, you get what you want. And Milka and I also manifested a groundhog today. Now, remember, the art of manifestation isn't making something out of nothing. The ingredients for everything is already in the universe. It just needs to be properly arranged. Let's see. So, that's why the discussion on frogs and toads. Oh, we're talking about manifestation. Do you guys want to know the 4 ways of manifesting strawberry ice cream? Let me know if you do. It doesn't have to be strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream is the best. Maybe vanilla ice cream. But man, strawberry ice cream? So, according to Patanjali, and the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and Deepak Chopra. There are 4 ways of manifesting. Let's see. MLRT says, in order to see a groundhog, you have to think like a groundhog. I like the way that sounds. You have to invoke the essence of groundhog, of groundhogness. William says, pumpkin ice cream, please. We can do that. Anne's Crap Chat says, hey, Yogi. Anne, how are you? So, hey, whoever was in the discussion last night, and we were talking about crafting, and Anne was talking about her coffee mug. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Anne. Anne had some doubts on whether or not it would turn out well. I was very fortunate that I saw a little video of it turning around. Very cool. And it turned out perfectly, beautifully. So let's see, Jace. Hey, Jace, how are you? So this morning's discussion, Jace said leaves. Every so often, in the morning before I got for my walk, Jace will have an intuition. May you see this. And today he said leaves. And today there was a tree waving at me, specifically. Pretty magical. This says, I'm okay. Thanks, brother. Reflection was granted. Nice. So, this is just broad in terms. The first way of manifesting pumpkin ice cream for our friend William is you're sitting on your couch and you say, man, I could go for a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. So you get up, you go to the refrigerator. Fortunately, you have some pumpkin ice cream, put a couple scoops in a bowl, more than a couple scoops. Man, you're just being greedy. But it is pumpkin ice cream, so who's to blame you? And you go back to the couch and you sit down and eat it. That's a very gross way. Gross doesn't mean, yuck. It means a lot of physical activity involved. Man, I got to get up the couch and go all the way into the kitchen, open the freezer. There's a lot of physical stuff going on there. So it keeps growing more subtle. Second way to manifest pumpkin ice cream is you are sitting on your couch and you think, man, I really would love some pumpkin ice cream. And a family member walks by and you go, hey, I pay the rent here. I'm in charge. Please go get me a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. And they begrudgingly say, yeah, sure, why not? And they go into the kitchen and they get you a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. This is more subtle. It's still fairly gross because someone has to do the action. But hey, you didn't have to do much and you got yourself a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. Pretty cool. Third way is you're sitting on your couch and you get the urge for pumpkin ice cream. Someone, family member, walks by and says, hey, you know what? I just so happen to have an extra bowl of strawberry ice cream. I was thinking about you. I was getting myself wine. Here's a bowl of, I'm sorry, I keep saying strawberry because I'm used to it. Here's a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. You had to do nothing but have a thought. And synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence took place. This is really subtle. Just a thought sent out into the ethers. And a bowl of ice cream. Through synchronicity, meaningful coincidences appears. Through years of meditation, you can actually make this work fairly well. Again, this is according to Patanjali. The fourth way is you have a thought, pumpkin ice cream, and there's a bowl of pumpkin ice cream in your hand. That is the most subtle. From the unmanifest to the manifest. From the infinite to the finite. Just with a thought. I have yet to materialize a bowl of pumpkin or strawberry ice cream. However, I did manifest a groundhog today. But not in that way. It was the third way. I thought, and I told Milka, man, I had a great day filming out in nature. Just a beautiful day. Some flower clips. I caught the toad, the elusive toad that I've been searching for all summer. I found a clearly agitated turtle sitting on a log being harassed by a mosquito or some type of bug, and it was really fun to watch. I saw a tree waving at me, not just waving in the breeze. These were specific leaves that were waving just at me. As well as moss landing on a branch and then crawling up the tree. It was pretty cool to see. We saw magical steam coming off of the path that we were on. And walking up a hill, getting close to home, it's been 5 months probably since I've seen a groundhog. And I told Milka, the only way to top this day off is to see a groundhog. And she said, well, you haven't seen one for so long. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. And on the way home, in a place I've never seen a groundhog, is a groundhog sitting in the field, doing groundhog stuff, thinking groundhog thoughts. And you're not going to believe this, guys. He was eating a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. Go figure. Much of that story is actually true. 99% of that story is true. The bowl of pumpkin ice cream, okay, not so much. Let's see, William says, did Milka gift you with strawberry ice cream or your brother? They did not. Milka has, she's not like Jace. She can make stuff happen. But again, we did manifest a groundhog. Almost as good as a bowl of pumpkin ice cream. Jay says, unless your surname is Downey, then he eats it with hands and he eats it and hands you a empty bowl. Man, that sounds like our friend William Downey, doesn't it? Kayla says, big likes. Laradux says, hi. Hey, Laradux. We got some laughing emojis from Jace and from Anne and a wave by Laradux. So, hey, most of us can make that third way happen. Meditation, contemplation, and we can manage the meaningful coincidences in our life just by putting a thought out there. This isn't really the secret where, you know, they tell you how to manifest a car or a house or a relationship. This is the simplicity of placing an intent. In Sanskrit, it's called a sankalpa. Place an intent within the infinite intelligence of the universe, and you be patient and you let the synchronicities work themselves out. You give the details to the universe and you say, divine will, whatever, however you want to phrase it, and you let it happen, which is another way of saying in God's hands, not mine. But you got to have that intent. So while we're placing intents, while we're talking about intents, I'm going to place my own intent. A couple things here. Optimob getting fully monetized this week. It can happen this week. And Jace hitting 1K. Let's keep it up. What else do you guys want to place into the infinite field of possibilities? The infinite field of potentiality. Hey, Anne's Crap Chat already manifested a perfect coffee mug. Someone might say, well, how do you manifest something if you're using it, if you're using your hands to make it into existence? Well, here's a thought. This is what Emerson said. The ancestor to every action is a thought. It had to start from the subtle realms of thinking. And before thinking, it came from the absolute, from no thingness, no thingness, from nowhere to now here. So, from absolute nothingness, Anne had a thought. I'd like to make a gift for my stepmother. From that thought, she took action. The next thing you know, you got a coffee mug. Now, if she could fill that coffee mug with pumpkin ice cream, we're on to something big, guys. If she could fill that coffee mug with pumpkin ice cream and have a groundhog run it over here and deliver it to me in person, now we're really into something big. And says, I'm making another one today as close to the same as possible. Nice. I do like butter pecan. It's got to be in the top five favorites. Well, it says a way forward in regard to profession. I want something that doesn't kill me with labor and pay just enough. You and I are on the same track, William. That's all I basically wanted my entire life. That's why I've declared myself a professional YouTuber before I was an actual professional YouTuber. When I got my first, I have an account on Medium with an author platform, and every month I make between $2 and $3 from my writing. Someone reads it, I make a little bit of money. And I remember someone seeing that and dismissing it. What are you going to do with $2? You can't even buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks for $2, which I think is right. And I told them, you're missing the point entirely. From my own creative efforts, I was paid. Someone liked my stuff enough to contribute to making $2 that I didn't have before, and that I earned through my creativity. From the one thing I've only wanted to do my entire life was to write. And of course, to write about particular things, which is yoga, meditation, nature, consciousness. Jay says, if the groundhog had one in each hand and shared a great chat with you, even better. This could become a children's book. Keep going. This is true. I might have run out though. I might have run out. Where do you go from sitting and chatting with a groundhog over a bowl of, let's switch it to butter pecan ice cream, since it is coming from Anne's Crap Chat. Anne's Crap Chat. From the house of Anne's Crap Chat to the house of just a yogi doing burpees in his basement, the magical groundhog appearing at my doorstep with a bowl of butter pecan ice cream. Does it get any better than that? And then looks me in the eye and says, hey, I think I might have a job for our friend William Hart. And I just subscribed to Jace, and I was his 1,000th subscriber. Our friend Brian Lane is here. Brian, how are you? Brian, I was talking about the differences between frogs and toads, and I was going to mention you, because if anyone knows the difference, it's Brian Lane. Runner Boy says, groundhog more like a hog of the ground. More like a hog in the ground. They can be. They can be a bit hoggish. Although they're also called woodchucks. So depending on where you are, at least in the United States, groundhog and woodchuck, they're the same thing. I was going to reply to a text, Brian Lane. Someone had mentioned that he was skipping leg day. And he had mentioned burpees working the legs, and they do quite a bit, especially if you do squat chasers. But even if you just did burpees, you're still getting a good leg workout. Jace salutes Brian Lane, waves at Runner Boy. Hey, Runner Boy, sorry I missed your live stream. Brian says, so far this year, I've seen more tree frogs. I saw one American toad, and the difference between tree frogs is their feet stuck to things. I've seen a couple American toads. I haven't seen any tree frogs. I hear them all the time. Today I saw a toad or a frog in the water, and I've been waiting all summer to finally see one. Brian says their feet stick to things. Runner Boy says I haven't seen a frog this year. How often did you normally see them? It's weird that Ireland has frogs, but they don't have snakes. You would think that what would be inhospitable to snakes might also be for frogs, but I guess not. Shows you how much I know about frogs and snakes. I got quite a few turtle videos today, and I was thinking about Brian Lane as I was filming him. If you've never seen Brian with his turtles, definitely visit Brian's channel. Brian is someone I would love to see hit the 1K mark, and he's so close. If you're not subscribed to Brian, please do. He is at 930 subscribers. Brian has some really cool turtle videos, just him and his turtles. And you really see, well, you clearly see Brian's affection for his turtles, but you see the affection return from the turtles to Brian. It's amazing. Runner Boy says, like every day in our pond. I wonder how come you haven't seen any this year. Odom says, I've seen a lot of frogs in the garden this year. Hey, Odom. Hey, frogs aren't harmful in your garden in any way, do they? Do they damage any of the garden stuff? Runner Boy says, I think the newts ate them. Is it the newts? That's not good. Brian says, well, last year I must have saw 10 to 12 American toads and maybe some phalo toads too. I haven't heard of a phalo toad before. Jay says, Spanner for Odom, please. Hey, Odom. I just added you as a mod. I'm actually not sure why you were not a mod. If you don't want to be, it's just an easy way for Jason and everyone to connect to you. Let me know at the end of the chat. If you want it removed, then I will. If you don't mind, we'll keep it up. And speaking of Odom, you got to visit Odom's homestead. If you want to see someone with deep joy in what they're doing. Brian says toads are mostly in the garden. Runner Boy says no, they don't harm anything. Good. And that's the same thing Odom says. They're great for the garden. Nice. Brian says Google phalo toads. Eric, think there's a little bit smaller than American. I will do that. I have frog stuff up now, so after the live stream, I'll just shift it on over. Odin says, hello and Scrap Chat. Oh, I wanted to check out, let's see. I'm checking out Jace's channel. 883 subscribers. So on the subject of manifesting, Jace, Brian, a similar coffee mug for Anne's Crap Chat. Job for William. I don't know about you guys, but I really want either strawberry, pumpkin, or butter pecan ice cream now. Brian says, just saw hummingbird. I've seen one this year so far. Odin says, okay, it was because I'm always listening. I'm like a supporter. Man, and you've been a huge supporter for my channel from day one. And it's much appreciated and amazing as well. Odom and Eric Lapointe, often in the background. Speaking of which, look at that. I don't want to brag, but I just manifested Eric Lapointe. It's one thing to manifest a groundhog with a bowl of ice cream, but how many people can manifest a Connecticut tree farmer out of the ethers from thin air? Now, if only Eric Lapointe, the Connecticut tree farmer, had a bowl of either strawberry, pumpkin, or butter pecan ice cream in his hand, and he was accompanied by a magical groundhog with a perfectly replicated of Anne's Crap Chat coffee mug that she created in his hand, with a one ad page circled for a job for William Hart. What more could we get? Wolf is here. Wolf, how are you? Hey, Brian, did you manage to catch a clip of the hummingbird? Man, hummingbirds are amazing to watch. They really defy the law of physics by being able to do what they do. Wolf says hi to Jace and Eric Lapointe and Odom. Gets a salute from Brian. We got some laughing emojis from Jace. Odom says hello to Moonwolf. Mir's here. Speaking of magic, speaking about being able to make things happen, Mir is the one that can do it. How he does it, I don't know. But we've had more people on the live streams reach the numbers that they wanted because of Mir and Jacob for the past few months. It's absolutely amazing to watch. It is nice to see you, my friend Mir. Jay says, Mir, welcome back. Coming now. Brian says, now I see Blue Jays getting nuts. Man, we have some gigantic Blue Jays that show up on my deck every morning. So up ahead, MLR 13 DST. I know that is for something military, right? I don't know how to pronounce it though, other than spell it out, which is why I had to scroll all the way up. He had mentioned that in order to see a groundhog, you have to think like a groundhog, which reminds me of Navajo Native Americans when they talked about how to pray, how they pray. They don't pray for rain. They don't have that word for. They pray rain, meaning they invoke the essence of rain. They feel the wetness. They feel the raindrops quenching their thirst. Um, not just visualizing, but full body experiencing it. And that's how you pray. And that's how you get rain. Let's see. Brian says, I have Cardinals and Blue Jays, Finch and Robins. I see sometimes hummingbirds. I got a finch that shows up in the backyard too. I love robins. Robins always seem like one of the friendliest birds. I saw a mourning dove today too. Brian says mourning doves, one of my favorites. I love listening to them and seeing them. Let's see. Adam says groundhogs are delicious. My cousins used to cook them all the time. I never ate. What do you fry them up, Odom? Here says Odom bro, blessings. Very hot here. I think almost everyone has a story of synchronicities. How something that just seems to defy the odds of mere coincidence to becoming something extremely miracle, almost freaky. I mentioned before, one of my favorite words is weird, but spelled W-Y-R-D, the original shamanic German spelling of it. And says she'll be right back. And weird actually means web. And it is in shamanic terms, the web of our connection. How everything is interconnected, interwebbed. And you pull on the entire universe. You pull on one strand and the entire web vibrates. So when you're doing something magical, when you're praying, you tug on a web, something manifests from a distance and appears here. So it's basically laws of quantum physics, right? Asia's here. Asia says, howdy y'all. Hey, Asia. But because things like that would happen and people would go, man, that's pretty freaky, the term weird became weird, meaning that's pretty freaky. So we're talking weird stuff, but in the traditional sense. Everyone's had something weird like that happen. You think about someone and the next day you get a phone call. Think about someone you haven't seen in 20 years. The next day you get a phone call and they, hey, I was just thinking about you. Or you bump into them at an airport or things along this nature. Again, synchronicities. Odin says, blessing to you as well, Amir. It's out here too. Need rain. We're supposed to get some rain today, I think. It's back up in the 90s for us. For a little bit, we were kidding ourselves that maybe we were going to have an early autumn. Let's see. Anti-Greek is here. Anti-Greek, how are you? Says, hey, Yogi, what's up? Not a whole lot. We're talking weird. We're talking manifestation. We're talking magic. We're talking birds, turtles, and frogs, and groundhogs. Or woodchucks, depending on how you'd like to say it. Liv is here. Hello, it's been a bit since I last saw you. How you been, Liv? Eric Point says, it happens to me all the time. It's amazing. And it's a sign of being conscious of all connections. When we know that we're connected to everything and everything's connected to us, then we can just relax. And that's when the magic happens. Dredson says, cult just means hidden. And says, greetings all. One of the things that you'll find when you, it starts happening more when you begin meditating. And then, of course, people get caught up in what they consider the power of meditation. Patanjali warns about that, as does the Buddha, that the cities, the mind powers that develop, they're awesome, but they're a distraction from the purpose of meditation, which is peace. Let's see. Anna Greek says, I'm good as long as we are liberated from a tyrannical God and its minions. I think that is up to each of us. And it's not on God, it's on us. We have God created us in his or her image, and in turn we turned around and created God in our image, meaning that we gave God an ego, personality, fickle, sometimes vengeful, very often jealous. Remember the beginning of the Tao Te Ching that says the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. It's the same with, we can replace Tao for God. The God that can be described is not really God. It's our description of God based upon our ego perception. But it's not God. Let's see. Susan from Australia says, we are all connected. Most definitely. The J. Jordan sent me here. Sent me over. Nice. Big thank you for being here, Susan. And thank you for the message that we all connected. And a big, big thank you to the J. Jordan. Jay says, Susan, welcome. Antigreek says, the basic yoga is lay on bed or chair, close your eyes, and empty your brain from thoughts. This is 0 level. The other level of yoga needs some corporal movements. I think it shapes the body. That I haven't heard. The yoga of Patanjali is to modify and then cease identifying with the vacillation of the mind, the movement of the mind, thinking. Not erasing the thoughts, but we no longer identify with the thoughts, which is infinitely easier than getting rid of thoughts. But thoughts, like the ego, they don't need to be getting rid of, they just need to be seen through. When you no longer identify as an ego, which is nothing more than a thought system that has gained belief that it's who we are, life gets easier. Eric Point says, hey to Susan. Susan says, hello to Mir. Dredson said, had a pastor told me that long ago, that the moment you can describe, detail, or quantify God, then it's not God anymore. Man, you had a really wise pastor. They seem to be few and far between. A lot of them have lots to say on social discourse, as well as socio-political issues. Very few do you ever hear speak the actual teachings and message of Jesus. How often, let me bring this up real quick. One of my favorite passages. Matthew 5:38, which I'm almost positive Odom already got. 538 to 48. You have heard that it was said, eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on your right cheek, turn to them the other cheek. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away the one who wants to borrow from you. Anon, you have heard it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy, but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rains on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? And not even the tax collector doing that. And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than the other? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. How often do we hear that, and how often do we practice this? I've talked to Destiny and Goldie, as well as Odom, about and a lot of Christianity that's not offered as a practice. We hear preaching, we hear words, but how often are we given instructions? Jesus said, do this, so go this week and do this. Give me 1 second, guys. Susan, I am subscribed as well. And I hope to spend some time on your channel after the live stream. Check things out. Really appreciate you being here. Let's see. Illust Lady says, hey, Yogi. Illust, how are you? I like that channel name. Anti-Greek says, I loved what you say. Infinite patience brings results. Yep. Immediate results as well. Anti-Greek says, this is true. Thank you, Anti-Greek. Yeah, that was I enjoyed talking about that. And I was wondering how many people would, a lot of people, I use that on Mocha all the time, and she always looks at me and says, that makes no sense whatsoever. Next point says, new friend Susan. Poor man says, sup, Yogi man. Poor man, how are you? Poor man, a few days ago I told you I wanted to add in get-ups and swings along with the burpees, keeping dips and pull-ups in the routine. I was going to wait until I hit 1,000 days of burpee straight. I couldn't wait. After talking to you, after seeing MF Dreadson and his cinder block, and seeing the stuff that you do, I thought, man, I want to put some heavier weight over my head. So 2 days in a row of get-ups. I'm going to do 4 days. Then I'm going to do dips and burpees. And then I repeat the cycle again. 4 days of... So I'm still not going to be taking a day off. But it's definitely less burpees. Like I only did... I had 6 minutes left of the time that I put up. And I did 42 2 pumps. Brian says, oh, I think they said I missed leg day because I have skinny ankles and my arms are probably bigger than my calf muscles. You know what? It's probably true, but that's not a slight to your calves. It's noticing how big your arms actually are. Brian has power to spare. He's probably one of the most powerful burpee practitioners. I think him, Paradox, still in the game, Tony Han. I should mention Burpee Reaper. he has a different kind of power. His is just all grace, you know? He's so graceful that you don't realize how powerful he actually is. Susan says, thank you so much, Jace. Jace waves at Anna Greek. Brian says, had went to visit Timo live. Is Timo live now? I know he was earlier, and I was hanging out with him. Oh, yep, they are still live. I still have them up. I'm helping them put in their watch hours. Hey, William, are you still here? Do you remember how many watch hours Timo said they were at? It was 4 something. Might have been 420, but maybe I just have 420 on my mind. Dredson says, Brian, I think legs are more genetic than training. That's a good point. I know if you guys remember Tom Platz was the original Quadzilla. He said he had skinny legs, and then he became famous for his legs. So obviously he had genetics to build big legs, or no matter how much, he was a hard trainer, but no matter how hard you train, you don't get legs that big unless you are genetically blessed. Let's see. Anna Greek says, Yogi, I'm against any form of chemical substance that cures body, from drugs to laxatives and coffee. I think we should let the body react naturally in every occasion, regardless of pain. Interesting. I agree with some of that. Much of it. But I'd be a hypocrite if I said I agreed with all of it, because man, I do enjoy my 1 cup of coffee a day. Jason says, Susan, Valley is awesome. We'll watch more for sure. Foreman says, hey, Jace, how are you, bro? Jace says, Lady Lakaya. Let me know, guys, if I missed someone coming in. Dredson says, I gave up on the size of my legs and just work on making them as strong, agile, and flexible as possible. I honestly think that's the best way. What difference does it make if your legs are an inch bigger than they were before, or someone else's? If you're not training for bodybuilding, who cares? The description that Dredson says, strong, agile, and flexible as possible, that's it right there. That sums it all up. Oh, this lady says, got to rewatch this, catch up. And it's Buddha. Hey, Buddha. Appreciate you stopping in. I hope you're feeling better today. Jay says, poor man, I'm okay. Thank you. And Susan says, thank you so much. Buddha says, thank you. Jay says, Buddha love. Hashtag Buddha love. An iconic message from our friend Buddha. Odom says, we don't hear it much and we don't practice it much. And that's sad. However, I know it's something Odom practices. I know Odom would say, he imperfectly practiced it because Odom's a humble guy. But hey, I'd rather have an imperfect practitioner than someone who just doesn't care, believes that because he hears someone describe things in the Bible once a week, that he's an actual Christian. And someone might say to me, who are you to say who's an actual Christian and who isn't? And I'm no one to say at all. Not pointing things out, not accusing anyone of anything. All I know, one, from my own Catholic upbringing, going to Catholic school, I was blessed to hear the teachings of Jesus. and then leaving the church, leaving religion behind, rediscovering, and most recently deepening my relationship with Jesus because of friends like Odom and Destiny, uh, because of even Laradox, um, walking with Goldie. I don't agree with everything that everyone says, but it caused me to re-immerse myself in the actual teachings of Jesus again, and more than that, opening my heart so that I can hear the eternal presence of Jesus. I don't separate Jesus from Krishna or the voice of Buddha that I can hear when I ask to hear, when I quiet the mind and I listen. So Anna Greek says we should not intervene in the nature of our body. Well, what about things that can be considered drugs but have been cultivated from nature themselves? Like the basis for aspirin is white willow bark. What if we used white willow bark as pain relief? What would you think of that? And of course, quite a few herbal teas will act as a laxative. Buddha says there are past in my days, nicknames. That is one of four more. That's cool. You always have the best names, Buddha. Poor man says, man, that's awesome, Yogi. I need to make a heavier bell considering 60 pounds. Did a bunch of one-arm swings with 60, felt good. Hey, do you prefer one-arm swings to two-arm? Two-arm swing, you can generate a whole lot of power. One-arm swings feels better for my back. Brian says, Leo and Oscar and Burpee Giant got power too. Yeah, that's true. They certainly do. I haven't watched a whole lot of Burpee Giant, but I need to. Jacob dropped the link. Poor man says Leo is a monster. Yeah, and he's getting more so with that vest. Poor man says, Eric, what is the leg day? Don't skip. Man, I got I got called out. I used to love squat. Squat was my favorite day of the week. Part of my warm up, I squat in my yoga practice. I do qigong wall squats, which isn't the wall squat where your back is against the wall. It's getting closer and closer to the wall and squatting down until your face is almost up against the wall, because you got to have perfect form. If you squat with your knees first, your knees hit the wall. If you bend too far forward, your head hits the wall. So it's perfect alignment. It's a great warm-up, but more than that, it opens up the dantians, the energy centers in the body. So, man, I was trying to deflect. I was giving a long-winded story and hoping no one would call me out again on not doing a ton of leg stuff. Eventually, well, hey, get-ups. Get-ups work legs quite a bit because I'm in the lunge position. And swings work hamstrings. Pavel doesn't have a lot of leg stuff in his workouts, if you ever check him out. He relies on swings, deadlifts, and get-ups. So, hey, I'm blaming it on Pavel and an iffy back. But when my back is better, I did buy a squat rack. Actually, Mocha got me a squat rack last year. When the back is 100%, I plan on introducing some light, high rep squats, 20 rep squats. Called out on my own live stream. And seconded by Eric Lapointe. Never would have thought Eric Lapointe would support someone calling me out for lack of leg day. As Eric said yesterday, you think you know someone. You know what, though? It's good to call someone out of concern like that, so I appreciate it. What I'd like to do is get back to heavier goblet squats. Let's see. Mir says, Sir Yogi, my live is on, guys. Just come and give a big thumbs up. I'm coming back. Absolutely. On my way over. Let me, I got him up. I got Mir up. Guys, make sure to visit. And let me make sure I don't fall too behind in the chat real quick. Susan says, I'll catch you again for sure. Thank you, Susan. Much appreciated. Odom says the 12 disciples was no one at some point in time. That's true, Odom. Right underneath Odom, Eric Lapointe. Yeah, poor man. That's what hurts the most, guys. Buddha says, been on meds. I got an inflamed ulcer in my stomach, and my cardio vein is swollen over and over. It's hurting. I just had acupuncture. How is the acupuncture working as far as pain management and as far as maybe helping your body heal from the ulcer? Foreman says, what arm swings put arms to work? Yeah, it's a great grip exercise for sure. Buddha says, BG. We got some math in the point. Buddha says, you had very cool shorts and video workouts. Thank you, Buddha. Man, I mentioned before, I absolutely love doing the nature shorts. My all-time favorite thing to do. Buddha says, hey, poor man. Fun fact is here. It says, hey, bro. Fun fact, how are you? Appreciate you stopping back in today. Buddha says, yeah, those are scary. The wall squats. Justin says, this is the channel I shared. Let me bring that up. Guys, I'm taking a 1-minute break because I want to go to, want to go over to Mir. Let me find it real quick. Hey, Mir, if you want to drop the link for your, there it is. So if you guys don't take in a moment, hey, or hang out.
Buying the right monitor is like...
Sorry, guys. Apologize. And never mind. I'll be honest with you. I never mind if someone wants to hang out on another chat. What I want to do is leave a comment. I want to hit the like. And I want to share him out. Those things, they're huge to help someone's channel. Even if you don't have time to, spend and interact, it's always fun if you can, and I always enjoy it when I can. Man, I had a great time interacting with Eric Lapointe on his last live stream. But even if you just share, it's big. 1 second, guys. My cat is getting on my nerves. She wants to see what I'm doing. And what I'm doing has nothing to do with cats. There we go. I mentioned, man, way at the beginning of the chat, that no one has helped more people develop their channels than Mir, along with our friend Jacob. So any opportunity you get to help them back out. And Scrap Chat is back. Judson says, and vice versa. So that's Parmesan. Did I say that right? All right, give me 1 second, guys. I just want to make sure that I like the link that Dritson dropped, and I'm going to share them out. There we go. Again, guys, it's the little things. And had to take a shower. And we got a hey Buddha from everyone. Buddha says, I get it every month, and it does help a lot. And I have a lot of blockage in my spleen. Man, Chinese medicine. Really, I talked about this with Buddha before, just a couple of days ago. Should be in every single hospital. Hey, Anne, when are you going to get started on the new mug? Anna Greek says, Buddha, for stomach inflammation, eat tahini, sesame paste. It has anti-inflammatory properties. Thank you for that, Anna Greek. Man, you always have good advice. Poor man says, to Dreadson, I have to check out your channel. Oh man, it's an awesome channel. Just hard work and quality reps. Buddha says, no scary as those big dumbbell things you had in your video. The kettlebell get-ups. Traditionally called Turkish get-ups. I think we just call it get-ups now. Fun Factor says, hi, sir. Hi. Bro, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Let's see. Fun Factor says, bro, you from, I am from Frowny Face. I am not from Frowny Face. Sometimes. I have not always been a happy-go-lucky yogi. No, I'm always happy-go-lucky now. You know, I've mentioned before, a lifelong, what used to be a lifelong battle with depression. Not severe enough that I was offered medication several times, but never. I know people who are bedridden with depression, people close to me, but it was always like a presence in my life, and I could sense it coming and deepening, and I would dread it, and I fought it until I think it's probably been maybe 6-year period. For whatever reason, I stopped fighting it. I stopped suffering from depression, but depression was still present. It just wasn't a battle. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't something that I tried to get rid of. I just knew it was coming, and I accepted the fact now there is depression, but there won't always be. And man, that made a huge difference. Anna Greek says, I recall that Fun Factor is the disrespectful man that insulted Yogi before some days. Mods, do your job. Well, hey, as long as he's all right hanging out now. Fun Factor says, no, I don't disrespect anyone. I'm always, you know, everyone can come in. You might show me something on Sunday. That doesn't mean you have the same thing to show me on Tuesday. Eric Point says, hey, Fun. Global's here. What's up, my friend? Let's see. Global says, good afternoon, everyone. Got loads of funny prank content today. Man, I mentioned before, and I think it was live stream maybe a week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Absolutely hilarious. You got one of the best, most natural sense of humor of anyone I've met in a long time, for sure. Let's see. Anne says within the hour. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing it when you're done. It makes me wonder how close are you able to get something to the one that you're copying? To those who might not have heard, Anne made a beautiful mug, coffee mug yesterday. She's given it as a gift to a family member. she wants to make another one today as a replicate of what she did, which just makes me wonder, how close do you think you can get to replicating something as an artist? So if you guys get the opportunity, go check out Global. He's got some new stuff up. He's a funny guy. Buddha says, yes, it should be. It's crazy why acupuncture is only private. And it should be covered by health insurance. I think it might be for some. Buddha says, I drink ginger and turmeric tea. Will that be good or bad? It's really good for inflammation, as well as digestion. Anna Greek says, it's good. Also for ulcers, you need yogurt. It has probiotics. Buddha says, I drink it for pain. And doctor said all inflammation in my body erased. But now I have ulcers, so it's inflamed. And Buddha says, okay, I will let my mom know to grab some on the way home tonight. Thank you so much, Anna Greek. Anna Greek says, Yogi, do you know kefir, live culture? I do. And I used to drink it quite a bit. And you can actually get vegan kefir. I don't remember where it's derived from, but it has the same pro and prebiotics, which is just as important. Let's see. Number 2. Parmesan hater. Well, that's sad to hear. Parmesan is a perfectly serviceable cheese, especially for spaghetti. I don't eat it, but and it says, I'm going to try and do it live. Oh, nice. Within an hour. I will be, I'll be wrapping things up in like 15 minutes or so. So it'd be nice to catch it. Burpee Reaper. I was talking about the Burpee Reaper not long ago. Good mother freaking morning, beautiful YouTube family. Hope everyone is having a great day. Let's go. Someone's pumped up today. Burpee Reaper's pumped up every day. He's even more pumped up now that he's a Spartan warrior. Buddha says, yes, that's unfair. I only afford it because she knows my father personally since 92. When I was 15, my dad said, when you get older, I want you to go to this acupuncture. She is spiritual and great energy. Man, it sounds like you have wonderful parents, Buddha. Able to think outside of the box of social norms and really see people as healers. Buddha says, hey, the Reaper. Salute from Eric LaPointe. Jay says, Louis, brother, freaking good morning. Reaper says, I'm a burpee warrior. I had to show them Spartans. What's up? Hey, did you mention that to anyone? That this isn't your thing? That you don't train for that? That you just wandered in, decided, hey, let's give it a try. Brian salutes Reaper. And just like that, guys, I am caught up in the chat. Every time I pause just for a second to pat myself on the back, I immediately fall behind. But not this time. Reaper says, definitely Eric. I told this story, Eric LaPointe will remember it. There was a famous 100-mile race in Australia, and they had it every year, and a sheep farmer whose only form of training was chasing his sheep, running along with them as he would herd them from place to place. Very slow. It was a shuffle. It wasn't really a run. It was just a shuffle. And he did it in his rubber boots, his sheep farmer boots. And he decided on a whim, because he had always heard about this race, to show up and do it. No training except for being a sheep farmer. And he showed up in his rubber boots and his coveralls, because that's how he did his running. And he won the race and set a record. You can find him on YouTube. It's absolutely amazing. That's what Reaper did. Burpees is his training method. And he shows up another event, something unfamiliar with him, not afraid to try something different, and he rocks it. Excellent job. Let's see. Buddha says, the Burpee Reaper, I'm so sorry I did miss you. Also, I got a inflamed ulcer, so pain in my main carotid artery hurts lately, and been hard to sleep on my left. I can't breathe. My heart will get lightning. Do you see anyone else besides your acupuncturist? Buddha says, say to Brian, as well as Jace. We get more encouraging words from Parmesan Hater. I'm assuming they're encouraging words, because, you know, why show up and not give encouraging words? For all I know, Parmesan Hater right now might be saying to me in what I believe is Russian, he might be saying, hey, I have an extra bowl of butter pecan ice cream, and I was wandering by YouTube and I thought, hey, what if this guy would like a bowl of butter pecan ice cream? What are the odds of that happening, guys? The Point says, yes, I remember that story. Yeah, I knew you would, because I remember you telling me how fascinating you thought it was. Anna Greek says, Yogi, I need to tell you something. For ancient Greece, a genocidal nation and based on slavery. Actually, I have heard that before. Reaper says, I'm sorry to hear that, Buddha. Are you on it? No, I'm going live in a few. I'll be ending in just a few as well, so that works out perfectly to hang out with Reaper. Anna Greek says, Plato tells us that they were pedophiles too. Yeah, I know you are not. You're not a fan of your homeland. Mir says, "Stay blessed all," and thanks for your thumbs up. Absolutely, my friend. Reaper says, if you can, Buddha, I completely understand. Just heal up, sis. 100. Definitely heal up. Poor man says, F yeah, Reaper, I'll be there. Param says, Plato was classical Greece. Buddha says, okay, cool. I am good, just resting my doctors. Reaper says, appreciate you, man's Jim. Poor man says, prayers, Buddha. I hope you get well soon. Brian says, hello to Buddha. Get well soon, Buddha. Gotta say, I appreciate the care that you guys show. It's not surprising in the least, knowing some of y'all for, it's been a bit now, and you guys who show up on a regular basis, you never fail to show me the type of people that you are, and yet at the same time, it never fails to impress me. Obviously, you spend any time on YouTube, you spend any time on the internet, and you see the opposite. You see the haters, you see the trolls, you see the people who just want to hate for the sake of hating and not even realize that that's what they're doing. For whatever reason, in their mind, I talked about it before, the five kleshas, the afflictions of the mind, in yoga psychology, as well as Buddhist psychology, as well as modern psychology, neuroscience at least. Um, but it's still, man, it just reaffirms my belief in how good people actually are. And the Greek says Horus was the Byzantine Empire, more genocidal than ancient Greece. Brian says, great live you have, Mir. Brian says, oh, Parmesan says, Anna Greek, where are you from? Anna Greek is from Mars. Brian is sending all healing vibes and be with Buddha. Thank you, Brian. Odom says, sending prayers and strength, Buddha. Thank you, Odom. All right, so let's say we wrap things up, guys. We got some stuff to do. We're going to hang out with the Burpee Reaper. Anne's Crap Chat is going to be live. She's going to make a coffee mug, guys. How awesome is that? And to be able to get to see it, to get to be someone, to get to see someone who's in love with what they're doing, in love with their craft, actually shape something. Again, from absolute nothing. There are no better manifestors than artists, craft people. Eric Point says, another great live with a thumbs up. Brian Lane says, have a blessed day, everyone. Hey, guys, if you can subscribe to our friend Brian Lane, he's getting really close to 1K. If you can subscribe to everyone across the board. Help everyone out. Brian Lane and Jace, they're getting there. And maybe give some watch hours to each other if you need them. Make sure you subscribe to our friend Odom. Give Odom some watch hours. Give Odom some love. Give Buddha some love. And Erica Point. Our friend Timo, Optimob, is getting really close to being fully monetized. Jace very kindly drops the link for Brian Lane. Before we close out, if our friend Jace wouldn't mind dropping the link for Jace, being the modest gentleman that he is, sometimes we got to prompt our friends. I would drop Jace's link because I'm on a desktop. What I've been told is it means only people on another desktop can open it. And Jace drops his link. So again, let's help each other out. Don't forget that Anne's Crap Chat is making a coffee mug. I really can't stress how awesome I think that is. Eric Point drops the link for Men's Health. Thank you, Eric. I am not subscribed, but I am now. Much appreciated. Hey, and always, you know what? Eric Point says it's his birthday. He is nice. I'm on it. And just added him, just subscribed. And I'm going to wish him a happy birthday. And Scrap Chat says, oh, thank you. Absolutely, my friend. I love what you're doing. And you know what? I'm really glad that you hang out and that we connected on Facebook. That'll be the last thing I say. If you guys are on Facebook and you want to connect, drop by. You'll recognize me. Buddha says, Big PM video call. So I said that was the last thing I was going to say. However, Jay says, thank you all amazing people. Absolutely, my friend. Reaper says, have a great day, everyone. 7 pumps. 20-pound vest coming up. Wow. Big day for the week. Excuse me, guys. See how impressed I was? That's a big workout. The last thing I'll say, for sure. Odom's on Facebook, same name. I'm going to look you up. We had a laugh from Ann. Now, the very last thing I'll say, for sure, 100% is, Reaper says, damn, Eric even choked. Man, 7 pumps. How can I not be impressed? Eric Point says, I'm sticking with 2 Pump Tuesday. That's what I did today. 2 Pump Tuesday. Another great live. Here it is, the very last thing. Big prayers for our friend Buddha. Makes you feel better. If you guys can send out some prayers, hold it with loving intent. Whatever is your thing, let's do it for her. With that, I'm off. Take care, everyone. I'll be back 5-ish, 5:15. Come on by and hang out. Don't forget to check out Ann. Take care, guys.